In a quiet village nestled between the misty mountains and a clear, placid lake, there lived a Zen master named Hakuin. Hakuin was known throughout the region for his wisdom and calm demeanor. Many sought his guidance, but none more eagerly than a young man named Yoshi. Yoshi was a kind-hearted soul, but he was plagued with self-doubt. Every decision, every action was accompanied by a flood of anxiety and a crippling fear of failure. He would often find himself at the edge of the village, staring at his reflection in the lake, wondering why he couldn't find the confidence to live his life freely. One day, after a particularly restless night, Yoshi decided to visit Master Hakuin. He walked through the village, past the ancient cherry trees and the old stone lanterns, until he reached the humble hut where the master resided. With a deep breath, he knocked on the door. Master Hakuin, a man of few words, opened the door with a serene smile. Without a word, he gestured for Yoshi to follow him. They walked silently through a small bamboo forest until they reached an old pond, hidden from the world by a ring of tall trees. The pond was still and clear, its surface reflecting the sky above. Hakuin sat down on a moss-covered rock by the water's edge, and Yoshi followed, sitting beside him. For a long while, they simply sat in silence, watching the ripples on the water. Finally, Hakuin spoke. "Yoshi, what do you see?" Yoshi looked at the pond, at the small waves caused by a gentle breeze. "I see the water, Master. I see the reflection of the trees, the sky, and myself." Hakuin nodded. "Do you believe the reflection is real?" Yoshi frowned, unsure of how to answer. "It looks real, but I know it's just an image. The water is calm, so it reflects everything perfectly. But if I touch the surface, the reflection will disappear." "Precisely," said Hakuin, his eyes twinkling with quiet wisdom. "The reflection is only a distortion of reality. It exists, but it is not the true essence of what you see." Yoshi nodded slowly, trying to grasp the meaning behind the master's words. Hakuin continued, "Your self-doubt is like the reflection in the pond. It feels real, but it is merely a distortion of your true self. When you see your reflection in the water, you do not mistake it for the real you. So why do you mistake your doubts and fears for your true nature?" Yoshi was silent, his mind whirling with the implications of what the master had said. He had always believed that his doubts defined him, that they were an inseparable part of who he was. "Master," Yoshi began hesitantly, "how do I see my true self? How do I believe in myself when all I see are my flaws and failures?" Hakuin smiled gently. "The true self is like the still water beneath the reflection. It is clear, pure, and untouched by the disturbances on the surface. To see your true self, you must quiet your mind, just as the wind must cease for the water to become still. When you let go of the noise of doubt, fear, and comparison, you will see yourself as you truly are, a being of infinite potential and worth." Yoshi felt a warmth spread through his chest as he listened. He had spent so long focusing on the ripples, the doubts and fears, that he had forgotten the stillness beneath. He realized that believing in himself was not about ignoring his flaws, but about recognizing that they were just surface disturbances, not the essence of who he was. "Master, how can I quiet my mind?" Yoshi asked. Hakuin stood and gestured to the pond. "Sit by the water, as we have done today. Watch the ripples, but do not chase them. Let them come and go, and in time the water will become still. So too will your mind." Yoshi bowed deeply, understanding now that believing in himself was a journey of stillness and patience. As he left the pond and walked back to the village, he felt lighter, as if a great burden had been lifted from his shoulders. From that day on, Yoshi returned to the pond often. He watched the ripples, but he no longer mistook them for his true self. In the stillness of his mind, he found the courage to believe in himself and live freely, just as the master had taught him.